And welcome to Geeks for Geeks. Can I have a quick plus one in the chat if I'm visible as well as equally audible? Let me open my preview screen. चलिए जल्दी जल्दी अपना अटेंडेंस मार्क करिए. Okay, for sure. And welcome to Geeks for Geeks. Okay, I'm visible as well as equally audible. Let me open my preview screen. Okay. Okay. चलिए जल्दी जल्दी अपना अटेंडेंस मार्क करिए. Okay, so Aditya Gurupatham, good afternoon. Shivam Jan, good afternoon. Okay, so we would start. Okay, so today we would be solving yesterday's problem, that is of 23rd August, and the problem name is min cost climbing stairs, and it was an easy problem with a success percentage of 68%. Okay, and now let's move to the second part. And before solving the question, there is a small bit of announcement for you. Geeks for Geeks has now re-revised the POD system. So if you are finding difficult to find a habit of coding, what you can do is you can solve each problem each day, and then you would be getting a coin. And in Geeks for Geeks, it is known as one geek bit. And if you successfully do this for 8 days, you would be again getting a bonus of another 8 coins. Okay. And when you have collected around 50 coins, you can redeem all these things. Okay. GFG merchandise, discount on GFG courses, Amazon vouchers, and annual GFG premium subscriptions. Okay. Aryan Sapra, very good afternoon, sir. Riju, Taliban ate all the jalebis. Okay, we would talk about this after the stream. Okay, good to go. So, if the constraint were a little bit less, then this question was to be considered easy. But as the constraint is good enough, then I don't consider it as an easy level question. It is considered as a medium level question. Why? I would be telling you that also. Okay, why I consider this, and it is completely my personal consideration. Okay, so we are given an array of cost of length n, where cost I is the cost of climbing a particular step. Okay, so suppose we are given a particular prices of each of the things, okay. Suppose I would be showing you, suppose this is a stair, this is a stair, this is a stair, this is a stair, and this is a stair. Okay, good to go. Now suppose I have been marked the 1, 3, 2, 1, 5. Okay, so if I let me okay, so if I take this stair, if I take directly this stair, okay, so I would be encountering a cost of rupees 3, and if I take this stair, I would be encountering a cost of rupees 1. So whichever stair I take, I would be encountering the cost of that corresponding stair, okay, corresponding stair itself. That is what it is saying. Okay, now we can do a step of, now once the cost is paid, you can either climb in 1 or 2 step. Okay, and this is the most important thing in this question. Okay, you can climb on taking 1 step at a time, or you can directly jump 1 more step at a time. Okay, and you can also start from index 0 to index 1 itself. Okay, now I would be showing you. So what you can do is, let me draw a stair itself. I won't be drawing the whole thing, just the normal stairs. Okay. Okay. Suppose this is the stair itself. Okay. So can I have a quick plus one if you have successfully understood the question? I would be making you understand. Okay. Suppose you are standing here itself. Okay. You are standing at this particular position. Okay, you are standing at this particular position. Now there are two options. I can directly jump here, or I can directly jump here. Okay, and one more thing, now the intermediate jumps. Okay, now suppose I am at this position. Okay, so if I'm at this position, I can take two steps at a time, or I can take one step at a time. Good to go. So am I clear with this or not? We would try to generalize this thing. Okay, am I clear with this or not? Can I have a quick +1 in the chat if I am clear till this point or not? Can I have a quick +1 in the chat if I am clear with this or not? Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Aditya. Can I have a quick +1 from others too, if possible? Okay, now I would tell you, okay, what is the problem here? Okay, the problem is such that suppose this is the case. Okay, suppose this is 1. Okay, suppose this is 1 and this is 10. Okay, and this is 100. Okay, and this is again 1. Okay, now I would be moving forward. Okay, now suppose if we do the greedy approach, what we would be doing is we would be taking this step, smallest one, we would take this step, and then we would try to reach the stair very fast. Okay, so we would again take this step. Okay, so if I take two steps at a time, then I would be encountering a cost of 101. Okay, now suppose I try to suppose this greedy idea does not work, so I would be trying to generalize this. So now I think that I, instead of taking two steps, I would be taking one steps at a time. Okay, now I would be jumping to this, and to this. So the cost here is much more than the cost which was previous. How much is the cost? 112. Okay, which is completely greater than 101. Okay, now we would be moving forward. So we can see that this greedy idea does not work. Why this does not work? Because making the decision, either we would take one step or two step. Okay, first this is the problem, which step to take. And the second problem is such that suppose I come at this position thinking that it is the lowest value, and the next value which is just after that two are much greater. It might be the case. So we need to consider both the cases on doing one jump and on doing two jump. Am I clear with this or not? Just tell me if I'm clear with this or not. Now what we can do is we need to, so this is the first thing that would come in your mind. We need to check all probabilities and report the smallest. Am I clear with this or not? So the thing is that we are not able to decide how we can move in a predefined way. Okay, it might be the case that I took this step, and the last step, if I had took that step, that would have been cheaper, because we don't know that what is ahead of us. We can't see it, what is ahead of us. So the most simplest thing what we can do is we would work on all the scenarios, we would take all the scenarios, and we would see which one is the cheapest. That is the most thing that is evident from this. So we would be, now whenever you need to check all approaches, all probabilities, all scenarios. Whenever you need to check all scenarios, the first thing that should strike in your mind is dynamic programming. Okay, and if you are a beginner, the first thing that should strike in your mind is recursion. Okay, the first thing that should strike in your mind is recursion. And if you are intermediate in the world of programming, then the first thing that should strike in your head is dynamic programming. Else we would be doing recursion only. Okay, now those who are not able to solve this question, I take it that they are majority as beginners, and minorities are intermediates. So what I tried is, I tried to do a recursive approach. Okay, so what I would be doing is, I would be at first trying to solve this question using recursion, and then with just one line or two line, I would be converting it to DP. Okay, no DP required, nothing. No, if you don't know DP and you have came here and thought that Siddharth Hazra would be Siddharth Bhaiya would be teaching DP, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. I would be doing recursion only. Just bear with me. Trust me, it would be very easy. Just keep faith on me. Just keep faith. Okay, that is only required. Okay. Now, in case of building the recursion, in case of solving a question using recursion, there are 3-4 things that you should consider. The first thing that you should consider is the base case. Okay. Now, the next thing we should consider is the return type. What you need to return. Okay. What you need to return. Now, the next thing what you should consider is transition. Okay. Transition. Okay. What is transition? Transition means that suppose I am at a particular position. I would be calculating that which is cheap. If I take that step or if I take the further step. That is the most. And what do you mean by base case? Base case is the smallest value that we can easily calculate. Okay. Now, the first thing is the base case. Okay. So, the base case is very much evident from the question itself, that if there is no stairs, how much cost is required? Can I have a quick poll? There are 6 live viewers, and including me, it is 7. Can I have a quick +1? Can I have a quick answer? How much cost would be there if there are no stairs? Okay, as the view count is handsome enough, please do reply. Okay, please. I want to make it an interactive class. Please do help me. That's a very request from my side. Okay. Okay, so I got 2 replies, that is 0 and 0. Good to go. So the cost would be 0. Okay, so I would be removing 1 0. Now the second thing, what we would be returning. The return type, we would be returning the minimum cost. So with the cost, how would be? It would be a string, or it would be a arsenic gaming, very high arsenic gaming. So we need to return the minimum cost. Minimum cost won't be a string, minimum cost won't be a float, minimum cost won't be double. Minimum cost would definitely be a int or long int. Okay, but as the range is 10 to the power 3, so we know that 10 to the power 3 would come inside the range long int. So the return type would be int itself. Okay, these two are fixed. Now the transition point. Okay, now for the transition point, I would be seeing that taking one step is profitable or taking the making two step is profitable. Okay, one step or two step. Good to go. Am I clear with this? So now the main thing, I would start writing it. The first thing that would be, it would be return the minimum cost, so it would be int itself. Now I would name the function recursion. Okay, and then the input parameter and then the body of the function. Okay, now what do you think would be the input parameter? What do you think would be the input parameter? For the base case, just analyze all the things. For the base case, we are considering the number of stairs. So number of stairs for base case. Okay, and see that for the transition point, how many things you need. For the transition point, what we are considered about? We are considered about two things, that we would be taking one step or two step. That is the only two things that we would be concerned about. So the main thing that boils down to this is we are only concerned about the number of steps we would be taking at present, and number of steps we would be taking at present is the current index. Current index. That would tell us in which position we are currently standing, how many steps are left, everything it would tell. Either how many steps are required, how many steps are left, how many steps have we already covered. These all things can be told by the index only. So this index is required. Okay, so we would be writing int I itself. Good to go. So now if the number of stairs is less than 0, then we would return a 0. If I is less than 0, then return 0. Okay, this is the base case. This is the base case. Now the transition case. Okay, what would be the transition case? Okay, I would be initializing a variable known as answer, and I would be initializing with a value of 10 to the power 8 itself. And then what we would be doing is answer is equal to min of recursion of, if we take one step, I minus 1. Okay, and suppose I am standing at this position. Okay, and the cost here is 10 rupees. Okay, and now I would be going to the figure only. Let me go to the figure itself. Where is the figure? Yeah, this is the figure. Suppose this is the case. Suppose I am standing at this position. Let me remove this, all this. Okay, suppose I am standing at this position and I jump here. So what would be the cost that I would be encountering? I would be encountering a cost of this place plus this place. So the cost would be this place plus this place. Now suppose I am standing at this position and then I jump to this position. So what would be the cost? 100 plus 1. This is the cost. Now I would be moving forward. Same thing we would be doing. Recursion of I minus 1. One step we have taken, and the cost of the current stair. Okay, and we would be comparing it with recursion of I minus 2 plus cost of ith stair. Am I clear with this or not? And at the end we would be returning answer itself. Okay, let me remove this and let me put it here itself. So am I clear with this or not? This is the most important thing in the whole question, that you are able to write the recursive thing. Okay. Now I think it is blocking the visibility because of my picture. So I am keeping it here. Can I have a quick +1 from the 7 people? Can I have a quick +1 or a doubt from 7 people? Please, it's a very humble request. It would be very much helpful to me that I am able to deliver what I am doing. Okay, suppose you are seeing, so understanding the thing by you is important, and I am teaching and successfully making everyone understand is a task for me. So we both should be successful on this level. So am I clear with this or not? Can I have a quick +1 from the people or a doubt? Whatever you want. No, we aren't using DP here. We aren't using DP here. We are just using the thing that we are just writing a recursive formula. Nothing. No DP. Where is DP? Do you see any DP? Any funda of dynamic programming? I don't see any funda of dynamic programming. This is just normal recursion. This is the base case, and this is from the last point we are traversing. I don't see any DP thing. Did I told you that this is a DP solution? So why are you thinking like this? This is a DP. What I would be doing, that is a different thing, but this is not DP. Okay, so many people, we would be traversing from right to left or from right to left to right. So the most common thing is that whenever you know that you need to use recursion, always think that we would be coming from top to bottom, top to bottom. Okay, from top to bottom, just think like this, and this smallest value would be called the base case, and these all things would be handled by the thing known as recursion. Am I clear with this or not? Write this on a please keep this notes, make a notes of this. In recursion, we mainly go from top to bottom, and the bottommost case is easy to solve. That's why we solve it. Okay, we solve it using the normal things. Okay, that's what we are doing now. We are starting from the back itself. Okay, and then we are coming down, and if there are no stairs, we are returning the 0. That is what we are doing. Okay, now I would be needing a +1 again. Okay, please do say the +1. Now this is done. Now we need, now the complexity of this would be very much exponential. Okay, the complexity would be exponential. Okay, now we need to decrease its complexity. Okay, so we would do a simple thing that is known as memoization. Memoization is like, we know that DP is calculating the values for different things. Okay, and it might be the case that I have already calculated the values for something and it is again being recalculated. That's what happens in recursion. If I show the recursion tree, then the class would be very long and many people would leave their patience and would leave. If you want, I can show you. If you want, I can show you what I am telling, that why it is calculating the same thing more times. If you want, and if you won't lose patience, comment it in the chat section. I would be explaining it. No problem. Okay. A thing is that in recursion, we calculate one things many times. Okay. Many not times. Okay. So what we would be doing is we would be simply saving our answer somewhere, and then if that answer is already calculated, we would be returning it. If it is not calculated, then we would be calculating it. Okay. Now, to calculate? Now, many people would say that how many 1D would be used or 2DP to 1D memorization. How in what type the data type would be 1D, 2D, 3D, 4D. How much? Okay. The thing is that the number of parameter would tell you the type of data type. Okay. So the number of parameters is 1. So we would be using 1D data type. Okay. So we would be making an array. We would be making an array naming as memo. Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me decrease all this so that I can write freely. Okay. Because this is important, but writing the second part is also important. Okay. Yeah. So this is it. This is what I was telling. Just a sec. Yeah, this is resolved. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now we would be making a array named as memo. Okay. Memo of size n only. Okay. Then what we would be doing is we would be adding here a line that if memo of I is not equal to -1, then return memo of I. Okay. If it is at first we would declare an array named as memo. We would be initializing it with -1. And if it is not -1, that means it has some value. So we would be returning that value. Just add this line here. Okay. And now one more thing that you need to do. After having the answer, just before returning it, we would be writing that memo of I is equals to answer. And do you know this is DP? This is what is DP. Was this easy or not? Just write these two lines and it is DP. Just write a if statement here. Sorry, just write a if statement here. Write, save the answer, and this is it. Nothing. सिंपल भाषा में बताऊं ना तो क्या है पता है, एक एरे बनाना है, सबको -1 से करना है, और उसमें अगर आंसर स्टोर्ड है ऑलरेडी तो वो हम लोग रिटर्न कर देंगे, और अगर आंसर हम लोग निकाल रहे हैं तो उसे हम लोग स्टोर कर लेंगे एक पर्टिकुलर एरे में. Am I clear with this or not? I tried to make it as simple as I can.